Hi, Richard. Hopefully this isn't going to make you seasick. I'll try to keep my hands steady. So you asked about the game and how it worked, and I wrote out some instructions, but that seemed kind of dry, so I thought I would just sort of show you our deck here, or our decks, and the game, and just sort of show you how a round would work. So you will see that there are basically three decks, starting from the bottom. There are offerings, receivings, and exchanges. And then there's a deck here of basic playing cards, these red cards here. And so the game begins by taking the cards, the playing cards, and each of us gets 5. And we can vary that number depending on how long we want to play. There's 2, 3. I think I've given an extra card there. So I don't know if that's 5, but that seems good enough. And you will see these cards are held in my hand, so they can't be seen. But you will see they also have R's, O's, and E's on them. So there's some R's, there's some E's. More R's. I got a lot of R's in this hand. So the way play works is each of us puts out a card. So I would put out an R, say, and Jenny might also put out an R. And our goal is to get out of cards. So the way we do that is we need to match. And we can either match by one of us puts an R and the other puts an O, or vice versa. We put an O and they put an R. Or the exchange cards are wild, so they'll match anything, but there are far fewer of those in the deck. So because we didn't match, we would each have to put our card back, and then we would get an additional card. So when you don't match, the penalty is that you're going to accumulate cards. But the fun is in matching. So let's imagine, I'm not going to do it with the cards, but let's imagine I put out an O and Jenny put out an R. Then what we do is I would take an O card from the top of the deck, and she wouldn't see it. This one says, I know you're suffering and that's why I'm here. That's one of the mantras we sometimes say to each other. And she takes a receiving card because she had an R, and hers says, hug them mindfully. So I would offer, which is that I would say to her, I know you're suffering and that's why I'm here. And I would attempt to aim it as a real offering, and then she would respond with this receiving. So we have many offerings in this deck. I think there's 9. One is Hineni, which was our how we got married. We got married when the entire community shouted Hineni. That was our moment of marriage. Instead of we pronounce you. Right now I, and then you fill in the blank. So a lot of these you will recognize. Some of these are R's, and some of these are, well, I guess they're now R's, and we're yours. Make an authentic gesture, make it count. Oh, here's 1 yay, 1 boo. It's another offering. Here's the different kinds of receivings we have. Close your eyes and listen. That's a mantra we say when we deeply touch. Just say thank you. Say you. That's in the me you practice. And of course, if anyone puts down an exchange card, that's wild. And so here's some of the exchange cards. Free dance, gaze, a melting hug, and so on. The exchange cards are activities. Morchkis, that's our secret private language we have together. We do a god and goddess dance, etc. So the idea here is that these receivings and offerings are short little moments that we can exchange. The exchanges are 30-second activities that we can do together. And so by the time you're done playing, and out of cards, you've maybe offered 3 or 4 times, and you've exchanged 3 or 4 times, and maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes have gone by, but you've done a whole bunch of offerings, receivings, and exchangings, and it's quite fun. And because you don't know what receiving you're going to get or offering you're going to get, the pairs are different each time, and it's kind of surprising and fun that way as well. So that's basically the game. There's just one other element, which is we have this other deck of cards, the play for fun cards. That's because I was afraid it would all get kind of maybe too heavy. So these are a little wilder. Become an animal. So you can kind of choose the animal of your choice and act it out, I guess would be that one. So sometimes we use those cards if, if we just want to kind of lighten up the whole thing. And on the app, which maybe I'll see if I can make a Mac app. On the Android app, those play for funds can be programmed through a website. So if either of us wants to surprise the other one and maybe do a special theme or something, we can program a whole bunch of play for fun cards. And when you click on play for fun, it'll come up with whatever that website had determined. So I think that's it for the game. Maybe